Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's In the Rye podcast with Curt Fletcher. Got some tour dates coming up. October 18th, Turtle Mountain, Rio Rancho. Not really a tour date, it's right down the street. October 25th, Belen, New Mexico. Eagles Avenue, opening for Barry Neal. November 5th through the 8th at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas with Mike Baldwin. November 14th and 15th, co-headlining at Looney's Comedy Corner, Colorado Springs, with fellow Hawkeye fan Bill Blank. It's going to be a fun weekend. And then December 11th at Revel in Albuquerque, opening for Chris Higgins. That's what I got so far for the rest of the year. Also, I'm available for corporate gigs. If you guys want to hire me for a corporate party, a Christmas party, do it. Pretty funny guy. Also, got some dates for next year. I'm going to be headlining the Comedy Catch in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and headlining the West River Comedy Club in Rapid City, South Dakota. Tour dates are on funnyfletcher.com. All the ticket info's on there. Go check that out. Got an awesome episode today with a comedian from Calgary. His name is Brian Stollery, so enjoy the episode, everybody. Brian Stollery from Calgary.
Curt. How you doing, bud?
Good to see you again, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Absolutely. I really enjoy you. To all the listeners, I met Brian last year when I was at the Comedy Cave in Calgary. So Canada does things a little different than the U.S. comedy-wise at their comedy clubs. So you guys have like local openers open for the headliners, and most of the guys are local headliners, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they bring in a lot of different guys from different places, a lot of Americans, but some Canadians. Yeah, I mean, certainly.
Well, no, I meant like the openers. Like you are a headliner.
Oh, I see.
Dale Ward is a headliner.
Yes.
There's another guy that worked with us the other night. I think he's probably a headliner. Right. That Pogo guy.
Yeah, Johnny Pogo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's cool. Because there's some younger comics, that are a couple years in that will do spots, and then they'll have at least one headliner on the show, which I think is really cool. Because we really don't do that in the United States, except at some of the bigger clubs. I think in the bigger cities we'll do that.
Okay. Yeah.
But like here in New Mexico, we have like the headliner, and then sometimes they'll bring a feature act with them. If not, it'll just be like a local opener or local feature. But I do like how Canada has like one of their better comics will host the show. In the United States, it's a little different. Like the least experienced comic usually hosts the show.
Well, okay. Yes, right. I seem to recall this. I haven't worked in the States much, if at all. And so I recall that you guys do it a little differently. Just before I go any further, what's the best way to do this? Because should I be looking at myself or you? Because is it weird if I'm looking at you? Does it look weird?
No, it's up to you. It doesn't look weird at all.
It doesn't look okay. So I'll just look at you, because I mean, my natural instinct is to look at you, obviously, but if it looks weird, so
I don't think it looks weird at all, because I'm looking at you, and I think it feels like I'm looking at the camera though. Like when I look over, I don't know. Like when I edit, it doesn't feel different anyway.
Yeah. So just wanted to clarify. So you people are like, why is he looking on the side?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So. All good. So no, you guys do it a little differently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Are other clubs in Canada like that?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
It depends who shows up. Like, if I show up, depending, but I will often, Stollery's here, you put him on, that kind of thing, but not certainly all the time, but
okay.
I mean, it makes sense to me as a club owner to put, pros on, because the show is going to be better. I mean,
for sure. Oh yeah.
It kind of goes without saying, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw something interesting the other day. I can't remember if I told you about this, but it was Rich Scheidner. He posted a thing on TikTok. He always posts great things on TikTok. Like he's an old school comic and has
Yeah,
some cool
sure.
stories.
I know of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. I think I did tell you about this. He was talking about how a lot of headliners didn't like working at the Comedy Works in Denver because they would always put up really strong headlining comics. Like the whole show is just full of headliners. And by the time
Yeah,
like the
right.
main headliner got up there, like the crowd was just so tired from laughing already that they would kind of
Yeah.
struggle.
Well, I kind of understand that from a headliner's point of view. Um, I've been in those situations, but I mean, part of being a headliner, I've been doing this for 30 years, and part of being a headliner is that you got to handle whatever's in front of you,
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would mention to guys like when I'm in Toronto, there's guys, you're following, it depends on the night, but sometimes you're following at least 5 or 6 comedians, and, at least 3 of them are headliners in their own right. And I'm not a fan of guys doing crowd work, but a lot of comedians, especially it's a full house, they'll do crowd work and they exploit, in my mind, they exploit everything in the audience. So I get up
Yeah.
there and I mean, I don't know, 2 years ago, I would get up and I would be kind of pissed because now the audience everybody's been asked questions, and you know, that the comic idea or potential has been somewhat exploited.
Yeah.
Now, the last time I was there, well, I would mention this to other comedians that I was talking to, and as you know, I write every morning. I write morning pages, and I write constantly. And part of the writing is to kind of just explore ideas. And I explored that kind of idea, and I go, how can I get better at dealing with that? And basically, what I came up with is that I've got to have material that is so fucking good
Hmm.
that I walk up there and I do my material regardless, nothing to do with crowd work. And I
Hmm.
go, okay, this is what I'm bringing to the table,
Yeah.
because all of that crowd work has been exploited, and I'm good enough to, match that or go above that with
For sure.
my material that I've written, and so I'm challenging myself to go. I'm going to write stuff that's so freaking good that you can go and exploit the crowd, the crowd, uh, but I can handle it. I mean, and listen, I think we all know that crowd work it's become very commonplace, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do crowd work.
Yeah.
I mean, I sound a little bit obnoxious when I say that, but I do think if somebody like myself, it's literally like taking candy from a baby. And part of the issue, the problem, if you will, is that the audience fucking loves it. They
Yeah.
love being a part of the show. And
Oh, for
so,
sure.
okay, so they're going to be a part of it, and they like, in the audience, the comedians look freaking great because they're talking to the audience, and da 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 da. And then the headliner gets up there, and oh, if you don't have, that strong of material, and everybody in the front row and within eyesight has been exploited, then, as a headliner, you're kind of gonna fucking not match up to those other guys that were doing 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like the business. It's a challenge, and you sink or swim with that, whatever's going to be in front of you. I think
Oh, for sure.
you know
So
what I mean.
I want to ask you, like, so like in the United States, for sure, it's kind of an unwritten rule that you save the crowd work for the headliner. Is that a thing in Canada?
Well, you know what? Again, call me arrogant, but it should be. It should
Yeah.
fucking be that way.
Well, it
But
definitely is
it's
in the United States.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's
not every comic knows it, but
no, and there's a lot of comedians that don't know it,
yeah.
and especially in Canada. I mean, again, I'm not working in the States, but boy, there's, and even club owners or managers don't give a fuck. They just watch the crowd roar with the guy that's talking to the audience, and oh, nice shirt, buddy, whatever.
Yeah.
And the crowd's kind of like, they can be eating it up, and then it makes the show not that great,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So I wish it was in answer to your question, I wish it was a rule that was known.
Yeah.
I There's guys that have done that, and when I'm headlining, and not me, but the MC goes and absolutely rakes them over the coals,
Yeah.
and then they go, okay, I get the message, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I think as an amateur comedian, there is that false sense of, oh, I'm great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm great. Look at me talk to the audience, and I'm so great. And you know what? You're not that great. You're just fucking talking to the audience. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember Martin Short was talking on a podcast once, an interview, and he said, I mean, I'll always remember it. I cut it up and I put it on my iPhone. It was like, basically, man, the audience loves it when you talk to them, and all you have to do is talk to them. That's all you
Yeah.
have to do,
Uh-huh.
and they love it.
Yeah.
And that's what Martin Short would do. Now, he's a great comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and he has great jokes too, but he was saying that, man, it's very easy to to engage an audience when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
sometimes it's a little easy, like especially with a small crowd, you kind of feel like you have to.
Oh yeah, small crowds. Like, it's funny you mentioned that, because you had mentioned, you played the Comedy Cave, and as you know, they're having trouble. They're open Monday through Saturday,
Yeah.
and the numbers early in the week are low. You got a small amount of people, on those early shows, except for Monday. And I mean, I've just played I'm headlining the same club that you headlined, the Comedy Cave, this week. You
Yeah.
headlined it last week, and like, the Monday was 3 people. Tuesday last night was 2 people, and you got similar numbers,
Yeah.
and
Monday was actually pretty good, but
yeah,
because of
right.
the open mic, but Tuesday got canceled. Yeah.
You're right. Well, what I was gonna say was that you were getting low numbers, and I always thought it was you. Uh, I'm just kidding. I thought you would enjoy that, but turns out it's me. It's me as well, or it's the club. But anyway, I thought I'd just throw that at you just as a joke. But it's the club. The club get figure out a Monday, Tuesday, and for whatever
I
reason.
mean,
So
in the United States, there are not many clubs that do Monday or Tuesday. I
yes,
mean, a
I
lot of it's
know.
Friday, Saturday. Like even
Yeah,
the bigger clubs, like I
right.
can think of one club
Hmm.
that I know of that does Tuesday through Saturday,
Hmm.
and then the
Hmm.
rest are just Wednesday through Saturday, Thursday through Saturday, Friday, Saturday. So
Yes, right. I've heard that too. I've heard that too, and I mean, I'm fortunate that to work. My home club is the Comedy Cave, and I'm
yeah.
fortunate that I have those nights to work. And
Hmm.
I think we had talked about, just talking ourselves, that you're in front of 2 people. That's people, and
Yeah.
these are people that don't know you, and you're going to get something out of that. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
e-
Yeah.
Even just get the words out of your mouth for the new joke or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't have a
So,
show that I didn't like last week.
oh, that's fantastic.
Did 5 shows. One of them was 2 people. It was a brother and
Hmm.
sister. They were
Sure.
fantastic. One
Yeah.
show was
Right.
4 people. One show was 6 people, and
Hmm. Hmm.
all those people were awesome. And
Hmm.
it's a tiny room, so it's not terrible when it's
Yeah.
like Saturday we had like 32, and that felt full.
I heard. Yeah. I heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
yeah, 32 is way easier than performing for 2, but
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that club because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to work on stuff. It's easy to like
Mm-hmm.
try new material.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many new jokes I tried last week. Like I even wrote a joke on the way back to the condo
Yeah.
that I tried it on Saturday and it worked. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
stuff that I said to you, you're like, oh, that's funny, and I was like, oh, I'll try it then.
Yeah. Right.
I'm
Right.
just
Like the
writing
stuff.
stuff at the club even right before I go on. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe as it's probably evident just talking to me that I'm quite anal about what I do, and
mhm.
I'm very uh, meticulous about material, and especially like I'm headlining this week, and I go, I mean, I always got stuff in my brain, new stuff that I could throw out, but uh, part of me is that, the other side of my brain is going, you're paid to be funny,
Yeah.
and that means be funny.
Mhm.
If it's in front of two people, then you got to make them laugh steady for the 20 or 30 minutes you're up there.
Oh yeah.
And that requires, not too much dicking around,
Mhm.
as far as like new material goes. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've been doing this so long that, new material just ends up coming out because you're literally, as you say, you're just talking to people. It's like a conversation.
Mhm.
It's a conversation with people. It's not as if you were performing and doing a show with, in front of 100 people or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
And yeah, the Saturday show there was a lot of like not heckling really, but like
Hmm.
I guess banter back and forth, and Warren
Mm,
was
yeah.
hosting.
Well, yeah. Hmm.
Warren did a lot of crowd work,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
as a host in that situation, it's not a terrible thing. You kind of get the show
Yeah.
started because
Right.
that's kind of the thing.
Hmm.
Is like how many
Hmm.
people been here before who's celebrating stuff like that.
Yeah. Right.
That's kind of the thing that the host
Yeah.
has to do, and then
Hmm.
get into
Hmm.
their material. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, once he started, like people were like they definitely wanted to be part of the show. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right.
So,
Hmm. Sure.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, we all had to do crowd work that night, pretty much.
Right. Well, I mean, again, I don't know, we've kind of, as pros ourselves, the MC is a kind of an important part of that. And the MC does set the tone.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, the guy who runs the club in Ottawa, the absolute comedy in Toronto and Ottawa, he's very, very strict. I mean, he's a comedian himself, or he was anyway. And
Yeah.
now he's an owner, and he's very strict on how to MC. And he goes, you do this, you go up there, you introduce yourself, you do material right off the top,
Hmm.
and then a little crowd work, and then material, and then bring up the guys. So you're setting the tone, as in, this is about material. This
Hmm.
is not about,
Yeah.
how long have you guys been together, yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
and I mean, I've been working there for over 10 years, and I remember when I was first doing it, again, I didn't know how to MC particularly well, and he laid down the law to me, and I mean, God bless him. I mean, he's still with us. He's a great guy.
Hmm.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. It's setting the because and the issue nowadays is that uh, you know, especially the comedy cave, they're throwing guys up to MC that they don't know how to MC.
Hmm.
They're just like, they watch other amateurs MC and they go, okay, that's the way to do it. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years. I know how to MC, and I know the correct way to do it and how it's setting up for the whole show.
Hmm.
And I've even offered, like, hey, I'll do workshops on how to do this the correct way. Nobody's
I feel like
really.
every city that has a
Yeah.
comedy scene should have some type of workshop to
Yeah.
learn how to MC or host a show. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree, because then, as we've talked about, you're setting it up so it's okay certainly for the MC to do a bit of crowd work,
Hmm.
because you're, as as I've said to many MCs, as a headliner, when I'm headlining, I want those guys to go out there and go, okay, this is a oil and gas company. This is a friends and family group. These people there's couples here, and this is a couple that's been married for 50 years. Okay, so now as the headliner, I go up and okay, I know who's in front of me, right?
Mhm.
But if they don't have to do that, I can do that myself. But so a lot of guys don't,
Yeah.
and then or whatever, and then you kind of got to, as a headliner, you're doing that MC work yourself. I mean, that's the way I look at it anyway, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So, so you started your comedy career in Toronto.
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're telling me, so Norm MacDonald was around back then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's cool. What year did you start?
I don't even know, man. I mean, I went to theater school, as you had maybe we were talking prior to this podcast. That I was an actor before, and I went to theater school. I graduated in, I guess, '94. That was the National Theatre School of Canada, and I was working in the theater or trying to and auditioning and stuff. So 1994, I moved to Toronto, the center of the universe in Canada. That's the center of the entertainment industry. And so I'm auditioning for movies and TV movies and a lot of theater as well. And it was when I thought I'm going to give a stand-up a shot. And so I worked at the old Yuck Yucks. I tried stand-up at the old Yuck Yucks in Yorkville, which is no longer there, that club, a black box.
So Yuck Yucks, for the listeners, is like where, Jim Carrey started, Howie Mandel,
right,
Harland Williams. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Howie Miller had left for L.A. at that point. So had Harland, and who was the other fellow you mentioned?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey had left as well. So those guys were no longer there. But when I was starting out, I was on stage with Brian Hart, who went on to, Mad TV. I think he was the head writer for that. And Bruce McCullough. I think Brian was a Y, but Bruce McCullough was
Kids in the Hall?
Kids in the Hall, yeah. And Jeremy Hotz, who's gone on to great success. Those are the three guys that I can recall, among other, Mike MacDonald, of course.
Oh yeah.
These guys were all doing spots on the same show I was. I mean, this is like a cattle call of all the comedians, and Letterman was on, and New York came, and they showcased for, and Norm MacDonald, of course, and these guys all showcased for late David Letterman's show, and I was one of those guys that showcased for that as well.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I mean, I was in it, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and here I am on this show but I was doing something very, very different back then. I was kind of doing I dressed all in black, and it was kind of a Stephen Wright kind of thing.
Oh, okay. That's kind of how I was when I started. Like, I love Stephen Wright. He's one of my top 5 comics for sure.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I found when I was writing that kind of stuff, I had, great success with that, but I was only doing them, I made 10, 15 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I found I wrote that kind of material, which is not autobiographical at all. It's just basically jokes and odd observations. And I got to the point where I just couldn't figure it out anymore. I couldn't write it anymore.
Oh, really?
I couldn't write that kind of stuff anymore.
It's
So
hard to generate a lot of
yeah,
time doing it that way too. If you
yeah,
write a new
that's right.
joke, you got 10 seconds of new material.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
right. Oh yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wrote myself into a corner and then I stopped and then kind of started again
Hmm.
and made it more me.
Oh,
So,
cool. Okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So did you get a chat with Norm ever? Did you talk to him?
Uh, no, I never chatted with him. No, but
No.
again, Yuck Yucks, when I was in Toronto, 94 to, or excuse me, 84 to 1990 is
Hmm.
when I was living in Toronto and working at Yuck Yucks and doing gigs at their different venues and other places. And I worked, there was a lot of positive uh, vibes about Norm Macdonald. Like they thought,
Hmm.
oh, he's fantastic. And, this is where when comedy was, you weren't really performing at that time, probably. Were you?
Uh-huh. I didn't
Yeah,
start till 2001.
right. So, I mean, there was a lot, this is comedy heyday, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a lot of clubs and a lot of buzz, and the clubs were packed. And, so Yuck Yucks had two clubs, the Yorkville Club, which is no longer, and then they moved to Yonge and Eglinton, uh, and they had a club there, and that was where I had seen Norm at the Yorkville Club, but he was also at the York at the or I seen him at the Yorkville Club, the
Mhm.
original club, if you will, and then he was at the Yonge and Eglinton Club as well. And I remember that particular time when he was headlining that night, and I was coming to do a spot, and somebody had told me, I said to someone, and boy, he's funny, eh? And they said, oh yeah, did you know he has cancer? He has stomach cancer.
Mhm.
And I was like, really? I had no idea. And that was probably 1989,
Yeah.
and or 88 even. And I
Mhm.
was like, wow. Uh, and then you think, okay, he hasn't got long. And of course, this is before he went to Saturday Night Live and
Mhm.
recorded all these albums and got fired from Saturday Night Live. He had such a huge career after that.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, at that time, he was just another comedian,
Mhm.
but a very, very well respected one. And
Yeah.
somebody who had, there's like, I think there's probably in my career, there's four comedians that I've ever seen. Two of them I can certainly mention right now that, you know, right out of the gate, they had it, right?
Mhm.
And we've all worked with those guys, but like Norm Macdonald and Brent Butt,
Hmm.
these guys, like they come, literally the first time they're on stage, you just go, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
wow, that instinct, that ability, that knowledge of writing comedy and knowing the funny and
Mhm.
knowing themselves too, right?
Yeah.
That was all of those things were aligned right out of the gate. And like you say, I mean, for me, I don't know about for you, but for me, um, again, me, it was like it was just experimenting. It was like I'll try a little bit of this, I'll try a little bit of that. And
Oh, okay.
I worked with I'll always remember things in my career that have really hit with me or stuck with me. And I worked with Jimmy Dore.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Dore and I toured Saskatchewan, Canada. I was driving, and we're driving, and Jimmy is, he's from Chicago. He was not anything at that time either. He was just a comedian
Mhm.
who from a large family. And so I'm driving, and Jimmy and we would talk, and one of the things he said to me is that, man, you got to write for the truth, don't write for the joke. And I still write for the joke
Yeah.
because I could do that, but I don't end up. But I'm aware now that I'm doing it, and I don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't end up using it. I just go, "That's fucking funny."
Mm-hmm.
I know that's funny, but I'm not gonna put it in my act because it's not true, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, we learn these things, but again, like two the comedians that I've mentioned, that they're just stars, and they have that it factor right out
Yeah.
of the gate, and many of us, I don't know about you, but many of us, we have to, it's just basically a work ethic. You just
Mhm.
keep fucking doing it and writing, you know and then eventually you'll figure it out, or you won't, right? But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah. How
there's
long do you
lots of
think
guys.
it took for you to find your voice, so to speak? Like,
Yeah, well, I don't even know, man. I don't even keep track of time
okay.
anymore. We had talked about, you had mentioned that you figure out how many times you've been on stage and how many years you've been doing it. I wouldn't even know. I mean, I
Yeah.
stopped counting. I stopped counting at 30 years, and
Okay.
it's, well, I think it's good. It's just like, um, it's like get I just getting out of my way, and just doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and and uh, and getting loose enough and comfortable enough to go whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
and have a mass in my the way I function now is that I've amassed a massive amount of material that, like, I'll go up, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I have no idea. I mean, I know what my current opening is. I know I have
Yeah.
at least four or five strong endings that I can do, and the rest in the middle is, you know, uh, this guy looks like a stoner. I'm going to do maybe some drug material,
Yeah.
and you know, there's lots of couples here. I'll do some relationship stuff, and and then there's an older lady there. I'll talk about my mother, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if that older lady isn't there, I'm not going to do that
Oh
material,
yeah.
and you know what I mean. So it's all over the place. But
Okay. So can I ask you this? So when you
yeah,
headline, you usually do 45 minutes. Do you kind of have a set list planned, or do you base it on the crowd? Because you've got 3 albums worth of stuff to pull from.
yeah,
So
four
do you
four
just pull
albums
from
now.
different?
Yeah.
Oh, you have four
Hmm.
albums?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, it
Hmm.
mentioned 3 on your Wikipedia
Oh,
page.
well, I'll have to. Yeah, that
You have to
Wikipedia.
update
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it mentioned 3 of them. So do you
Okay.
pull from each of those albums when you're on stage, or does
I
it just
do. I do, but I have. Well, I'm self-diagnosed like many people, but I definitely have ADHD, and you name all of those issues mentally. So I'm very much. I'm just constantly producing material,
yeah.
right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I was talking to my mother on the phone. She mentioned something funny. I wrote a punchline,
Yeah.
now I've just put it on my phone, and just eventually, if that comes, but that's just today. I mean, and I do that all the time, not just my mother, but
Mhm.
talking to people, whatever. So my, uh, I'm not pulling from, I mean, I have that material that I can draw
Yeah.
from my albums. And I've also got all the stuff that I haven't recorded.
Mhm.
And I've also got all the new stuff that I'm writing, like yesterday and today. Uh, I mean, it just literally, uh, I'm talking, as I'm talking to the audience. If they remind me of something, that comes out, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's not always funny, but often it is. And I record, so I go, okay, I'll keep that. And
Uh-huh.
And then when I'm going to record another album, I go, okay, now I got to
Stick to the
figure out,
script a
okay,
little
I'm going
bit.
to
Yeah.
stick to this. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
stick to the script.
Okay.
But anyway, sorry to go on and on, but
No, no, no. It's interesting.
comedy is it's like, it, uh, I think I had mentioned that, you know, part of it is like, I just, I get, I don't know, I couldn't imagine going up and doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm so, pardon my French, but I'm so fucking bored
Yeah.
of my material that I go, what the fuck? Why would I
Oh, yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
do that again? I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is playing the comedy cave. You're in front of four people. It's got to turn into a conversation.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a performance in front of four people, they're like, what the fuck is this? It's like,
Uh-huh.
why aren't you talking to us?
Yeah.
Now, that's how that whole thing came about. Now, if I was performing in front of 75, 100 people every night, I'd probably turn into more of a guy who does material,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
set material.
Hmm.
But that's the way. Anyway, I don't know.
Also, I just noticed that you say about, and most Canadians say a boot.
Oh
Why
yeah,
don't you have much of an accent?
it's a good question. I don't know. I've never even. I probably just not even aware of that,
Yeah,
other than A, like, which
yeah,
is stereotypical of comedians, right?
yeah,
A, yeah,
yeah. I just
yeah. That's
noticed that.
interesting. Do I have an accent to you? I don't have an
No, not at
accent to
all.
you. Oh, okay, yeah,
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 like I mean, a little bit. Like when you say a, but
mm-hmm,
that's about it. Like like a lot of the people I met at the club last week,
mm.
very heavy accents. Well, the ones from Canada anyway.
Is that
Uh,
right?
yeah, yeah. They say sorry and a boot and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so cliche because I've certainly heard people make that observation, but
Yeah.
I mean, as whoever I am, I don't even recognize that people are doing that. I
Oh,
don't
really?
know. Yeah, maybe I just don't. I just don't, because I don't do it myself.
Yeah,
Maybe if
yeah.
I did it myself. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah,
No, you're good.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you about did you ever have any desire to do like so they don't have like so we have Saturday Night Live here. They had
Hmm.
what was it SCTV? What was
Yeah,
popular there?
that's
Was
right.
that
Yeah.
Second City Television?
Yeah, that's right. Second City
Did you
Television. Yeah,
ever have
yeah.
any desire to do Second City or anything like that? Any improv
Well,
related stuff?
it's funny you mentioned that because when I was 18, right out of high school, I was probably still in high school. I did some Second City workshops or whatever, and I ended up getting cast in their young company. This is before I went to theater school. I was
Mm,
18, and I ended up doing Second City. Uh, Kind of, I was part of their young company,
cool.
and these people were a lot older than I was. But yeah, I remember auditioning, and my comedic sense is, uh, with all due humility, it's always been there. Probably because I was the youngest and of four boys, and I never could compete intellectually with my brothers. So it was always like Brian would say something funny, and
Okay.
and that's how I developed my comedic ability or whatever. So I auditioned uh, for that Second City, and I got it, and I was so happy. So funny. There's so many memories from that uh, time, but I remember, this is so funny because my dad came to me to the audition, and I auditioned, and then my dad came to watch them. This is back in Edmonton when Second City had an Edmonton stage company. They they were in Toronto, they were in Chicago, Toronto, and then they decided they were going to expand to Edmonton, and they had uh, a stage show in Edmonton with local actors that they had cast, and it was in Lucifer's restaurant, which was some steak restaurant in their basement, they had a stage, and this is where they put Second City on. So anyway, my dad, after I got cast, my dad came with me to check the whole thing out. We watched them perform, and I'll always remember, I said to my dad, you see that guy up there, Dad? He said, yeah, that guy. You know, he's 35. He's old. I'll always remember that. I said that to my dad, and now as an older person myself, I go, what was I thinking? But
Yeah.
if I'd only known. And this guy went on to, his name was Bob Bainborough, and he went on to be in that Red Green show. He was
Really?
the second fiddle in that to Red Green. He was
wow.
his buddy or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so he was accomplished. A lot of those people from that company went on to Toronto, Second City, and but that eventually that Second City closed in Edmonton. But in the meantime, when I was part of their young company, we would go and do shopping mall openings. Like we went to Red Deer.
Oh, wow.
The Bauer Center, which is still in existence, and we opened that. They were having their opening, and they hired us to come and perform in the middle of the shopping mall, right? And we were doing old Second City sketches, so from Chicago.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So and then I got into theater school, and I always remember on the main stage in Edmonton, they said, Brian Stollery is leaving us, and he's going to theater school because he wants to be a real actor. And then they did the Second City tradition, which is they put a cream pie in my face.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they do, I think, when it's probably still a tradition when people leave. And then I went to Montreal and started to train as a real actor. But anyway, so I do have a history with Second City. But
that's cool. I have a buddy that works a lot with Second City.
Yeah.
He does like cruise ships. Like he tours with like Jim Belushi and some other people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did anyone from your group like go on to be famous or anything?
From the Second City group?
Yeah.
Well, the one cast member, she went on to direct a lot of the shows in Toronto at the Second City in Toronto. Her name escapes me now. Another guy, basically nobody that I recall went on to great success. Another guy, one of those guys Sparky Johnson, he went on to teach drama at the University of Alberta, and I looked him up the other day. He's retired now, so he would teach improv there, and the actors there. The rest of them, one ended up becoming a playwright. She's passed away now. But yeah, so those are the people. And the piano player, Toronto or Second City had a piano player beside the stage. I don't know whether they still do. Have you been to a Second City show?
I haven't.
Yeah, well, they often have or at least they used to have a piano player that between sketches they would play, or they scene, and then they'd walk off and go and prepare for the next scene, and then he would play music while they were off stage, and maybe bringing out a couple of more chairs for the next sketch, and then he'd play them into the lights come up, and he'd play as they came out, and then started the scene, right?
Yeah.
So that guy went on to Toronto. Again, I don't remember his name, but he played in Toronto, Second City, the piano there for years. So
cool.
So those guys, Mm-hmm.
Actually, an old friend of mine who was a comic who died years ago was a piano player at the Comedy Store in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
And he had this great story about Jim Carrey, because when Jim Carrey first moved out there, so the guy's name was Kelly Moran. He was a really funny comedian. He's from Amarillo, Texas. He would play the piano in between comics and stuff.
Right.
And Jim Carrey, one of his first times ever performing at the Comedy Store, he bombed like really bad, like
Mm-hmm.
embarrassingly bad,
Mm-hmm.
like so bad. He crawled into the piano, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who the next comic was, but I guess like so then when the next comedian's performing, you can just see Jim like he keeps like peeking out of the piano every once in a while, and the
Oh, that's
crowd is like
hilarious.
dying laughing.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny. That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of bombing stories. We've all had them.
Oh
When was
yeah.
when did you bomb? Have you bombed? I'm sure you have. And
Oh
what was that
goodness, I
like?
used to bomb every other
Yeah.
time I'd go on stage, probably.
Yeah. Right. Why do we, after we bomb, why do we continue to do it? That's what's interesting
I
about
think for
this.
me, like I had a really good set my first time I ever did
Yeah.
stand up, so I
Right.
think that
Yeah.
helped me
hmm
because
Yes.
I
Right.
was like, okay, I know I'm funny. The
hmm
headliner that
hmm
night said I was funny. The club owner knew
Yeah.
I was funny.
Right.
This other comedian knew I was funny that had been doing it
Yeah.
for a long time. So,
hmm
like deep down, that told me that I've got what it takes to do it.
hmm hmm
Like not every crowd's gonna like me. Most of
Mm.
the times I would bomb, it would usually be at casinos when I was first starting out.
Is that right?
Yeah, casino
hmm
crowds can be pretty tough. A
hmm
lot of older
Yeah.
people, they
Mm.
don't get my references and things like that, and I
Right.
didn't know
Yeah.
how to like
hmm
adapt my material to make them laugh or whatever. I still don't
hmm
really, but
Mm.
so casino gigs usually not my favorite. Those are ones I really bombed at.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
yeah, anytime it's an older crowd, it's going to be tough, but
mm, mhm.
yeah, those are the ones I really struggled at.
I see. Is that
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah, I've especially early on, like I said,
yeah,
it's like there's these guys that right out of the gate, Norm Macdonald and Brent Butt, they just are so good out of the gate, and they're so um uh they really know who they are, you
yeah,
know. And I was just, doing stuff, and as I said, writing for the joke a lot of the time instead of
yeah,
writing for the truth. And then I would, I mean, man, yeah, I mean, I remember uh, they used to have uh, shows on Vancouver Island. That they still do, but Vancouver Island, and then there was some different towns or places where people would put on shows. There was a booker out there, and he would book shows around the island. And I went to one place. I can't remember the name of it, but I mean, it was. I can't even remember. I just remember the ride back with the headliner,
hmm
and in retrospect, this guy was fucking terrible as a
Oh, really?
comedian. Oh yeah, like, and he was the headliner, and he was supposed to be really good. And
Was he a terrible person or a terrible comic?
well, kind of both
Combination of
actually,
both.
but he was more to do with just a hack, right?
Yeah,
And this is probably in mid 90 1990s or whatever. And I remember the drive back, how uncomfortable that is.
oh
Whatever, we
yeah,
were going back to Victoria, we're driving back, and he was driving. He's giving me advice on
yeah,
what you're supposed to do, right? It's like,
yeah.
holy shit, man. And I sound like I'm so full of myself, but and uh, you just go, even at that time, uh, this guy's a hack,
Uh-huh.
and 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 I'm not, I will get there, again, but I bombed on stage, and I can't remember whether they cut the mic on me or whatever, but whatever it was extremely hard on me, right? But
Yeah,
again, we talk about, like, why do we continue after that huge
yeah.
embarrassment? And I don't think I've ever bombed and thought, uh, okay, I'm going to go work at Canadian Tire. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever, because, you know, we want to do this. It not, that's the difference between amateurs and or people that bail on the career of a comedian and or
Hmm.
don't. They bail because they go, this is too hard. I don't think I can get there. Um, I just can't handle it anymore. And somebody like me, I just go, you know, fucking forget it, man. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And
Like as I got older, it pushed me to work harder too,
yeah,
Like I don't
yeah,
want that to happen again. It's embarrassing.
right. Yes, right, right. That was the other thing. And I mean, I remember a corporate that I bombed at, and I remember keeping notes. Right, don't
Mhm.
fucking do that joke again.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in this setting, and you know what I mean. Like
Mhm.
it's like keeping a detailed record of, I mean, certainly initially, this works, this does not work, do not do this, you
Mhm.
know, keep writing, keep producing, and, you know, uh, I don't know, you'll get there, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
I was gonna ask you, since you did like improv and sketch type stuff, did
yeah.
that did that help you when you started doing stand up?
Um, no, not really. No, I mean, I didn't, I separated doing improv from stand up,
Okay.
which is, I suppose, probably not the smartest thing in retrospect, but I don't know. Back when I started, it was all about material. It wasn't
Yeah.
about, talking to the audience or whatever.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I would watch guys that did talk to the audience, and I admire them, and I go, yeah, that's good. But that's not what I do.
Yeah.
eh, you know, when I started, there were guys that did that, like Mike Bullard, who made a whole show about that, and
Mhm.
then there was other guys that just did material, right?
Yeah,
And I thought, okay, that's what stand up is doing material.
for sure.
And so, so I never combined the two,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I took like an improv class, but I had been doing stand up for probably 13 years at that point,
Oh yeah.
and it was so hard to do improv because I'm
Yeah.
so used to just trying to
Right.
get the laugh right away, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't do it. I would ruin the scene every time because a joke would
Right.
pop in my head. I'd say it, and
Yeah.
then
Right.
there's nothing we could do to,
Yeah.
continue the scene. So
Right. It's like acting. I mean, acting is about listening, uh, you know, uh, speaking and then listening, right? And that's
yeah,
the same thing with improv. It's somebody would say something and you would genuinely respond to what they said in a scene way, as in a character way, right?
yeah,
I mean, that's what they
yeah.
say about great acting, is that great acting is a lot of the time it's just listening,
Hmm.
active listening. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, hmm
yeah.
hmm yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you acted in a decent amount of movies and things like that. Like,
hmm
I'm going to ask you about some of the movies you're in here in a second, but um, I'm curious, like, so like in a comedy movie, like you're in Rat Race, which is one of my favorite comedy movies. In a movie like that, how often? I guess it's probably different for every movie and different actors and stuff, but like how often do they improvise? Like in the movie Rat Race, like I don't know how many scenes you're in or anything like that, but
yeah.
did you get to see like a good amount of improvisation, or did you get to do any of that yourself?
I did not do any of it myself, and I was working with Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. I
Yeah.
just had that one scene with him, and I was kind of well, you know, I'm the straight person for him to work around.
Yeah.
So I was not, I don't think I had many lines. I had a few lines or one line or whatever with him.
Okay.
And the rest was watching him, I think I woke up. I was sleeping. I don't even know. It's been so long, but uh, I was sleeping on the train with him, and he's looking for this key, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole movie. Is they're looking for a key, or part of the movie anyway. So I don't even know. I don't know if I can't remember the story or anything, but basically, my my baby had the key, and he
Oh, okay.
the baby had the key, and I was asleep, and I wake up and I see him touching the baby,
Yep.
and I say whatever I said, so I've kind of freaked out or whatever,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's basically the scene. But yeah, so no, I wasn't improvising, for as far as that goes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I never had I never had big enough parts in movies to really get to that point.
Okay.
I I did
Yeah, I
do
figure like the bigger stars kind of get to do whatever
yeah,
they
right.
want to do as far as that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, improvising on film is a little different. Um, because you got a camera there, and the camera has to capture what you're doing, and so um, uh, uh, you can't move like you would on a stage show or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because the camera is like, what the fuck is this
Yeah.
fucking guy doing? It's like the camera doesn't know, and they've got to have, you got to be in focus and everything. So the guys that know how to do that, to work with that, they can. And there's also directors that are able to um, uh, adapt to specific actors.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I was never at that point. The biggest role that I ever had was in a movie, a remake of High Noon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I played the hotel clerk, and I had a couple good scenes there.
Cool.
And yeah, so that was acting, and
Yeah.
it was
Did you
fun.
like it? The acting?
Uh, yeah, I did. I mean, if somebody called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, can you want to be in this film?" I would definitely do it.
Okay.
But the acting world is such that I don't know. It's like uh, it's very uh, I don't know what to say. It's just like uh, it's like anything. I mean, you really got to pursue it. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
got to
Yeah.
make sure people know who you are, that you're around, and
Yeah.
if you're not cast in any movies, you're producing your own stuff. You're doing filming your own stuff, and it's like
Yeah. It's insane how
constant.
much time goes into it.
Yes, right,
Like just
right.
like the scenes. Like I gotta hang out on the scene. Like I did some independent films, which
Hmm.
wasn't too time consuming, but
Yeah.
like I gotta hang out on the set of a movie called Love Ranch, and so like the scene I got to see was set at this boxing match, and I was there for like 12 hours probably, like just watching this. Like Joe
Oh,
Pesci
yeah.
was in it and a couple other
Right.
famous people, and like
Yeah.
it was really cool to watch.
Hmm.
But like
Hmm.
that whole 12 hours was probably like a 3 minute scene, you know?
Yes. Right. It was a feature, was it? It was a
Yeah.
feature movie. Yeah. Sure. I mean, I was in Legends of the Fall, and
Yeah.
this is back when I was younger, obviously, and not obviously, but I played this Canadian soldier in that, and then I was in the foxhole with the guy Henry Thomas, who was in E.T. when he was a
Oh
kid.
yeah.
So he was older, and now he's in Legends of the Fall. We're in this foxhole together, and this is a feature movie. And again, I think they had 3 or 4 cameras on us to record everything. This is back when they were filming in film, not how they
Mhm.
do it now. Well, maybe they still do, but anyway, um, I just remember beside me, uh, somebody who's doing continuity moves a fucking leaf,
Mhm.
to the same spot that it was,
Yeah.
because this leaf is like, it's 10 feet high on the big screen, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right now, it's a leaf that's an inch or 2 inches big, but
Yeah.
on the big screen, it's 5 feet.
Uh-huh.
So people notice the leaf on
Big
the
time.
screen, right? So it's that, this is the kind of thing that, a feature movie, uh, you know, this is the kind of thing that they're doing, right? So,
Yeah.
they have to be aware of that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
no,
a fun thing to see and be a part of, though, for sure.
it is. It's time consuming. It pays a lot of money when you do it right. I think it pays a lot less now than it used to.
Yeah.
Like I'm still getting residuals from Legends of the Fall
Oh, cool.
and these movies that I've been in because, you know, back in that day you signed an agreement that you would get paid every time they played it. And
Yeah.
even though it's only, I don't know, a couple bucks or whatever, they play those movies a lot, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
different places. So, that money adds up. But
Yeah.
nowadays it's different. I know actors have complained that they're very, actors that have done like lots of movies and parts, and this is after the agreements were gone or revised,
Uh-huh.
and they're not making nearly the kind of money that
Yeah.
the people used to make in the
Mhm.
business. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I watched Rat Race about a month ago, probably.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you should be getting a 12-cent check here pretty soon.
That's right. Yeah. What service did you watch it on?
I don't remember. Maybe like Peacock or Paramount
Oh
Plus
yeah,
or something.
sure. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they play these things. There's lots of times. These are good movies too, right? Because I was
It's
lucky
such a
to
good
be in.
movie. Yeah. Such a good
Yeah.
cast. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I was
Yeah,
lucky
it's
to be
funny
in
because
good
they're
movies.
actually
Mhm.
they're going to Silver City, New Mexico in the movie.
Yeah, that's right. They do. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they definitely didn't film it in Silver City, New Mexico.
Oh yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it didn't look anything like Silver City, New Mexico when they
Well,
finally got there.
when we were on the train, when we were on the train, it was a sound stage. It was an old barracks in
Yeah.
Calgary, old army barracks, where they had huge, they had converted it into a sound stage.
Yeah.
And they had the train and the green screen and the
Yeah.
playing the playback of the scenery going past the. I
Hmm.
don't think we saw that, but in the final cut, that's what it was all put together, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure they're leaps and bounds beyond ahead of what they did back then even.
Yeah.
And but funny story, I'll always remember because Whoopi Goldberg was in that movie, and
Hmm.
she was on the set that day, and I remember walking in, and they were going to shoot my scene, and I remember I stood beside the director. The director is looking at the monitor for the scene, and he's got the continuity person beside him, and whoever that director was it uh, what was his name?
I don't
Anyway,
remember who directed it.
famous guy.
Yeah.
Legends of the Fall, same guy. Famous. These are famous people. But anyway, I'm standing there behind them. Just staying out of the way. Don't
Hmm.
fucking say anything. You know your place. You're a bit player in this movie, but. So Whoopi Goldberg comes up to me, and she looks at me, and she said, "How are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm good, thank you." Again, keep my place, zip my mouth, don't say anything to the stars, right? And then she said, "Who are you?" And I went, "Oh, I'm in the next scene." And then she goes, and then she just fucking ignored me for the rest of the night. Basically what she was saying was, "Are you a producer on this
Yeah.
movie? Are you somebody important?"
Hmm.
Right? And when she realized I was not anybody important, she didn't have the time of day for me.
Oh yeah.
I al- it's I just always remember that.
Yeah.
But these interactions with these stars that on that movie after my mother was a huge Rowan Atkinson fan,
Yeah.
Mr. Bean. He's a star. He's huge.
Oh yeah.
So we were in the scene together and we did it. And he had literally just got off the plane from London and walked was driven from the airport to this movie set, and he's filming this, right? So he's kind of jet lagged, but he did, great, of
Oh
course.
yeah.
And then we were walking, both of us were walking to the trailer where I had my little cubby hole, and he had his trailer, and we were walking. And I promised my mother that I would get something from Rowan Atkinson when I was on set. And I went out and I searched for like his biography or something that I could get him to sign, right? And I found this only book that was written that was any kind of biography of him, but it wasn't an autobiography, it was a biography written by somebody else. And then I looked at it, it was like, oh, it was not very flattering. It was like, Rowan Atkinson,
Oh really?
whatever, he
Yeah.
touched children or whatever,
Oh
something.
shit.
So no, he didn't. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
not very flattering. And I
Yeah,
remember looking at the reviews,
like
and I
he
was
had
like,
nothing to do with this book and didn't
yeah,
help
he had
out at all.
nothing to do with this book at all. So that was the only. I bought the book because I wanted to get something for my mom. So I buy the book and I have it with me, and I said, Mr. Atkinson, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being in the scene with you. Would you mind signing this for my mother? And he took one look at the book and he goes, oh. He said, all right. He opens it up and I give him the pen and he goes, I can't vouch for the content. That's what he said. And he wrote to Rill from Rowan Atkinson, whatever. And then he gives me the book. He signed it. He was very kind to sign it. But yeah, I just remember he was, if I could find something else for him to sign, I would have. But
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Yeah,
well, cool, man. We hit
Yeah.
an hour already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
good chats. Yeah, I could talk to you for hours, man.
Yeah, we always have great chats when you're in Calgary, and
Yeah.
I so appreciate you hanging out.
I love it
Always a
because
pleasure
I don't know
watching you on
anyone there,
stage.
so like I'm just
Yeah,
cooped up at the
right.
condo all day.
Mhm.
Just so it's nice to get out and go see some stuff and
Yeah, right.
And chat and everything. So yeah,
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Go check out Brian's website, everybody, thecomedian.ca. And you're on social media as well, right? Instagram.
Yeah,
and all
that's
that?
right. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess I should update that Wikipedia, but it costs me. There's a guy. I don't know whether you know anything about Wikipedia.
I don't know anything really.
It's hard. It's hard to do it yourself. And whenever you do it yourself, they kick it back because there's some editor somewhere that doesn't like what you did or whatever. So it's all monitored by people.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's a guy, quite honestly, I found him. He's in Nigeria of all places, and this guy does the update. He put the website together. I gave him all the information. He put it together, and then every update that I have to go to him to do it. So, and it cost me $200 US every time I update something. So
really,
that's
crazy.
But anyway, so that's why I haven't updated it. But
okay, well,
my
I
website has all the information. Too. Yeah,
your website probably has better information than Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah. My website is me, and I'm updating it, so it's much more current. Anyway, so yeah. Well,
awesome, man. Yeah, I hope the rest of the week at the Comedy Cave goes well.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I know they're not doing a show on Saturdays, so.
Yeah, that's right. They're not because there's construction or something. So yeah.
He said there was a wedding or something going on.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. The whole family's going to be in Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he said they lied to me.
Oh my God.
No. No, whatever. I thought they said construction. So, at any rate, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's this business, right? So it's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
Where are you next?
I got a couple local shows in New Mexico, and then I go to Little Rock, Arkansas, and Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Are you headlining those rooms?
I am featuring in Little Rock and co-headlining in Colorado Springs.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Fun, huh? Yeah. Well, best of luck to you. Always a pleasure to
I
watch
appreciate
you
it. Yeah.
perform, and I look forward. We always had a great coffee together and just
Yeah.
chatting and lunch and stuff, and just hanging out and chatting about the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to do
Great.
this again. We'll do a part 2 sometime.
Yeah. It'd be great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Right on,
Take care,
man.
buddy.
Okay. You too.
All right. See ya.